Hello and welcome back. Please join me in welcoming Norman Adriano, who's an independent supply chain management consultant, trainer, and chair of the Business Administration program from Thames International Business School, who will be interviewing Delphine Dierckx, who's the head of commercial APAC from FoodPanda, on doing the same-day delivery right. Please do send in your questions into the live discussion section that's just to the right of the video, or underneath the video if you're using the mobile app. Norman and Delphine, over to you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Yaro. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. So today we are with Delphine Dierckx of FoodPanda. Okay, we'll have about 20 to 25 minutes of interview, and after that, we'll allot some time for your questions. Okay, hi, Delphine.
Hey, good morning.
Yeah, hello. What time are you in Belgium now? What time do you have?
4:30 a.m.
AM. Oh, very good morning to you. So
Thank you.
so we have about 20 to 25 minutes of fun, and then before we start off, I just like to tell you that my fan is one of the biggest fan. My wife is one of the biggest fans of FoodPanda. Ever since the pandemic struck, I don't think we have any day that we didn't have food coming from FoodPanda. So I'm
That's
very
really
happy.
good to know. Thank you.
Okay, so to start off, I was actually planning to introduce you, but I think I will leave that to you so that we will have a proper introduction of yourself. So tell us about
Awesome.
yourself and what you do for FoodPanda.
Yes, thank you, Norman. So hi, good morning, everyone. So my name is Delphine. I work for FoodPanda, specifically for the Panda Mart, or let's say the groceries portion of FoodPanda, head of commercial for the APAC region. So I joined FoodPanda around over 6 months ago, and before that I worked at Alibaba and Mars for over 12 years. So as you can see, quite a good knowledge about how to drive business within FMCG, e-commerce. So yeah, really keen to be talking about that today. I will let Norman lead the way, but very excited.
Yeah, we're very excited to have you, and I know that a lot of us will be learning a lot from you. So to start off, okay, so how is FoodPanda coping with the increase in demand? Was there any significant change pre-pandemic and during the pandemic?
Yes, so definitely there has been a very increasing demand. People have been staying at home, have been buying more from us, and especially for Panda Mart, so the groceries arm of Panda FoodPanda. We really see that our orders have increased a lot. People do want to be safe at home and shop more from their restaurants, or the restaurants they all know, through FoodPanda. Actually, our groceries arm, Panda Mart, had been launched in November 2019, like January 2020. So we did see that people were getting used to our business much faster than what we expected, especially because they were looking for a safe way to do their grocery shopping within 20 minutes.
Oh, that's good to hear. Because of the demand for food, of course,
Exactly.
the business in the food business actually thrived from the start of the pandemic until now, right? So, but what changed in the way FoodPanda operates, like in relation to human resource requirements and the use of technology? Can you tell us about that?
Sure. Yeah. So as I mentioned, right, people were shopping more. The orders were increasing. So of course we needed to make sure our operations were following as well. Our drivers were taken care of, and were able to work in very safe environments. So and speaking for Panda Mart right now, so actually Panda Mart was able to crack the operations. So that's what we say. What do we mean with cracked operations is actually be able to have a very stable and growing operations let's say, supporting system that is able to, let's say, cover the increase in demand. For example, we have been able to increase up to almost 200 dark stores within the region. So a dark store is actually a store that is very much like the size of a 7-Eleven, but it's just a closed store without any shoppers in there.
It's a
And so our
fulfillment
riders
center.
would pick it from there. I'm sorry?
The dark store is a fulfillment center.
It's a small fulfillment center, correct. So, and that's where we were very much pushing our growth in amount of dark stores across the region to make sure that we could deliver our groceries to all the locations we wanted.
How about this will not be at all possible without the use of technology. What can you say about the technology FoodPanda is using now, as compared to the technology that's being used pre-pandemic?
Yeah, so we do see we had to grow to a business that was much bigger and different than what we expected it to be. We were not expecting that huge amount of growth, hence you're correct, we needed to adapt our technology. And we are actually launching far faster than we thought certain features that we wanted to launch. So for example, right now we're really excited to be launching the mix and match feature. So what does that mean? It means that people can shop, mix and match. So if they would buy one bottle of Coke, they could actually buy a Mars bar together with it. So it's a very normal groceries feature.
Yeah, that's what you do in a grocery, right?
Exactly. You mix and match all the time. Of course, the advantage of a mix and match is that you get an additional promotion. So we were just making sure these type of features were launched much faster so that we could at least really make sure that people could at least get the basics of grocery within technology.
Okay, yeah, that's good to hear, And besides, it's for everyone to know also that how technology plays a big part in meeting
Exactly.
the ever-changing customer requirements, right? And
Totally.
it just came to mind. How do you make the future visible so that you can actually hire the right people to prepare for the right technology so that you can, if you see a future, if it's visible to you. So how does that happen in FoodPanda?
I think especially for people, we do always look for the right talent and make sure we upskill our current talents to be able to grow with the current business. We of course do need different kind of skills for a larger company than for a very small company. And when you grow from a small company to a very big company, you totally need to adapt and quickly upskill your current team. And that's actually happening right now. So making sure everyone looks at the right, let's say, vision and mission, and make sure we also help to upskill the team. Of course, we're always looking to develop our teams and adding more talent. So that of course has helped to, because of the growth, that helped as well to increase our teams a lot.
So how do you upskill? I mean, uh, how do you develop people? Do you get outside help, or do you develop them in-house?
We do make sure we get an in-house training system. We make sure there is manuals. We organize workshops. So these things are really important. So especially because groceries in e-commerce is quite specific. So we make sure we hire some experts and we make sure they also can help to, let's say, upskill teams in the region. Of course, there are very skilled talents within the region as well. And we make sure that we, let's say, create this community amongst e-grocery team, and everyone can actually help to upskill each other. So the stronger your community, the better people want to learn from each other. So that's also really important.
Okay. So at this point, I think we will talk about QCommerce or quick commerce. So let me just tell you what I know about quick commerce, and then I leave the rest up to you. Quick commerce is actually the next step in the evolution of e-commerce, right? And as the name suggests, it's all about speed. So generally, it means that consumers can expect delivery within 1 hour of placing an order. So my question is, what is your opinion on QCommerce?
Yeah, thanks for giving the right definition of quick commerce. So yes, quick commerce is actually e-commerce, but just quicker. We can even say that at PandaMart, we can deliver between 20 and 30 minutes. Some days with slightly less rain or less traffic, we're around 20 or slightly below. With a bit more traffic on a Saturday night, we could be slightly above the 20 minutes. So yeah, so this is a very good definition of quick commerce. So my opinion on quick commerce is, yeah, well, I joined the first company launching quick commerce in APAC region. So I think you can already guess my opinion about quick commerce. So very excited about this. It is a global term, of course. It's not only an APAC term. So I do believe in the concept that people will need their groceries quickly. So and I do feel it's important. There is many examples where me even using quick commerce could, because of using quick commerce, I could spend more time with family and friends. Like for example, Saturday night, you last minute want to invite some people. You don't even have to run to the store. You can just prepare your place and make sure that your orders are coming within 20 minutes, and you can do that simultaneously. Or even a mom that has forgot some diapers or milk formula for their baby or their kids can, in the meantime, just take care of the baby. Doesn't have to jump into the car, rush through traffic. No, I mean, the diapers are just being delivered in 20 minutes at your doorstep. So I do really believe it's the beginning of something very exciting. The fact that that time is being created for people is definitely an awesome added value that I'm really proud of. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think the term is convenience and speed, right? Those are what are important to the consumers today. Okay. So, but are your merchants ready for QCommerce? Your merchants, are they ready?
So we do work with a retail arm, which is our PandaMart team, but we do also work with, of course, a merchants arm. So yes, actually, they are very excited and ready, and we're always happy to welcome other and new merchants. So we do work with the Marks and Spencer, 7-Eleven, IKEA. So they're all very excited to be offering, let's say, a very essential range of items that can actually really be delivered in 20 minutes. It always takes some time to actually make them believe it's possible. And then once we crack the code, it's just super easy. So our merchants are fully ready. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to only expect for same day delivery. We're talking about same day. Now we're talking about 20 minutes. Okay. So, but
Exactly.
do we have the right do you have the right infrastructure to execute QCommerce?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we do have a retail arm and we also do have a merchants arm. So in our I'll just take this question on the retail arm. So in our retail arm, yes, we do have the infrastructure. As I mentioned, we do have quite a lot of dark stores that are being developed and as we speak, right? So it is never ending and we keep on building the dark stores in the region. The more dark stores we have, the better service we can also deliver to our shoppers. The faster it will come because it's very close. It's very close to your place, and we cover more areas. So yeah, we do feel the infrastructure is there. Let's say, especially in the Southeast Asia region, I feel it's easy to find good locations that are small enough and quite flexible in terms of leasing their places. We also do, and if I speak to infrastructure, it's not only buildings, it's also, of course, our drivers. So again, giving some
Support
kudos to
services,
our
right?
drivers. Yeah. So they're there, and actually, honestly, when they get an order of PandaMart from our retail arm, it is just exactly the same as getting an order from a restaurant, driving to a location, picking it up from there. It's our bag of groceries, or a bag of lunch or dinner, and then they bring it to some people's homes. So in terms of infrastructure, this was really the two pluses that actually PandaMart was having versus, let's say, other players in the market.
When you say dark stores, that means these are inventory carrying stores, right? These are locations with
Correct.
inventory items, right?
These
how
were the
do
FCs you mentioned.
so, yeah, but how do you know which items should be stored in those dark stores?
The items are actually, let's say, we look through a system. And of course, that system is helping us to define which items we look at. Of course, we do listen to our suppliers. So we do have very good relationships with our suppliers that actually suggest us, let's say, their top 10, top 20, top 30 items. And then we, of course, look at performance together on a very regular basis, as we know that the amount of space we have in these smaller dark stores are very much limited. So yeah, it's a mix between data and also, of course, let's say, trusting the data of our suppliers and our trusted partners.
Yeah, that's really important. The a very good relationship and partnership with your suppliers. But equally
Correct.
important is, of course, the visibility of what the consumers really would want, because there might be they should be able to capture also what orders were not fulfilled because the items were not there, right? So I guess you're doing that. Okay, so we're down to the last two questions. Well, what can you say about, I mean, how will you advise companies to prepare for QCommerce?
Yes, so I would advise them to come and speak to us.
Of course.
Honestly, it's as new as it is for everyone. So we're also really looking at data and analytics to really understand what the effect is of 20 minutes groceries delivery across the region. It is also very different country per country. But when I say come and speak to us, is because I do believe we have a very strong team. We have quite a big group of experts that can definitely help to support and analyze together to fine-tune our partnerships together. So I'll just give you an example. If a company would come to us, we would just look at like what's the range they would want to look at. And as I mentioned, we would test some items, provide some data, and look at certain traffic data together, invest in some visuals on our app, and then just do the analysis together. So we do have a very, very strong data and analytics team that can definitely help us to track and get to know the learnings. So if there's one player in the region that is really much owning all the data, because we're owning our own stock and stores, it is Panda Mart compared to all other competitors in the region. So if you really want to see like what QCommerce is doing for your company, just yeah, come and try it out with Panda Mart and just join us in the conversation.
Yeah, I think you already answered my last question, because my last question is, what is the tipping point for companies to start thinking or considering offering QCommerce? I guess you answered part of that, but you might want to expound more. If I'm a company, when should I be when should I be thinking of getting into QCommerce?
Yeah, I do feel it's now better early than late. So now, because the earlier you're in, and the earlier you're in versus your competitors, the faster you'll grow, and the bigger your, let's say, pie will be in terms of market share. So I do see that companies who have joined early with us in the game, even though their market shares are different across normal e-commerce or offline, we do see them, the ones that joined early are always the ones that have, let's say, the bigger pie in the market share, and it's always more difficult for the other competitors to then join in and, let's say, steal a little piece of that pie. So let's say the earlier the better. I don't think there's anything to lose. It's just a wave that you can ride, and we can definitely help you with that.
Okay, so that's it. So anyway, that ends my questioning. I think we can
Thank
go
you.
look at the questions from the chat room. These are questions from the attendees today. So
All right.
okay, so the first question is, how will dark stores change the game in the future?
I'm not exactly sure in detail what a game change is, but let me try to reply as much as I can. So change the game, if it's about making them bigger and carrying more items, Yes, sure. I think as much as we want to expand our dark stores, we also want to expand our range. So we want the dark stores to become better and carry more items. We're also looking at, of course, making them more close to a normal retailer. Of course, we could compare them with the normal offline brick and mortar player, and making sure our stock levels are automated, etc. So we are putting all the system in place to make sure it is as automated, as calculated as possible. You can imagine that, of course, in the beginning, things were, of course, slightly more startup-y and slightly less calculated, but the further we grow, the more tools we have in place to start, let's say, change the game in the dark stores.
Yeah, this is related to the first question. Are you seeing any particular markets embracing dark stores than the others? Will dark stores be more, will it attract a certain group of markets compared to others? Yeah.
Yeah, so not really. So we do see, once the opportunity is there for people to shop groceries within 20 minutes, they'll take it. So of course, we feel that in certain cities, like for example Singapore, where e-commerce is really very well known, where online groceries is a concept that people really know, we see that overall as a city, not specifically as a dark store, but as a city, we see that people tend to shop more easily. While, for example, in smaller cities across like Myanmar or Laos, where e-commerce is not such a big game yet, or people are not really used to shop groceries online, it always takes a little longer to get people to adapt. But people tend to get used to it very fast.
Yeah. Okay. And, another question here: what are the challenges launching QuickCommerce?
Overall challenges that we have is that we especially cannot handle the demand. So it's a good problem to have. So a lot of orders come in, and when we do see spikes in orders, we need to reestablish, let's say, and as I mentioned, crack the operations a little bit, make sure that our riders, the flow of riders can be accepted at the dark store, avoid any queues. So spike in orders always, let's say, teaches us how to handle the next spike. So we do see that once we handle the spike, the next spike is actually never a problem anymore, and we're able to much better handle the intake of orders.
Yeah. Okay, so we're down to our last question. The question is: do you plan to have cross-vendor ordering for customers or multi-order delivery with a biker?
Yeah, I think this is a very, very valid question, right? So I do feel that when I shop, I would want to shop on PandaMart, but I might want to shop some hummus on Marks and Spencer as well, and I would want to have that in one basket. So at the moment, it is not an option, unfortunately. We do need a feature to build there, and also the model right now is especially going up for speed, and I feel speed is really, really important right now. So we really want to stick to our 20 minutes delivery, and rather have maybe 2 drivers engaged for a little short ride for you, so that you don't have to stack the orders. We do see that orders that are stacked tend to be taking much more time, and then we don't want to go over that 20-30 minutes delivery.
Okay, so another question just popped in, but we still have a few minutes left. So before before we turn this over to Yaro, the question is: what's the functionality of the dark store? Is it for consolidation or preparation of the food as well?
So a dark store doesn't prepare any food. So a dark store only owns groceries. So they're all pre-packed groceries. We do, of course, have fresh meat, fresh vegetables, but also pre-packed by the supplier. We have eggs, so we have frozen, we have fresh, but no food prepared in the dark stores. They're actually really small warehouses, or as you mentioned, Norman, FCs. So the functionality of the dark store is more about adding the groceries, leaving the groceries there, having a picker to bring all the groceries together in a bag when the shopper orders, and then the rider can actually come and pick it up when the picker is done. So the main purpose of a dark store is just, let's say, just a small warehouse. You can just compare it to a small warehouse.
Oh, thank you very much, Delphine. I hope to talk to you again in the future, because what I want to see is, if now it is 20 minutes, what will be, how fast will it be a year from now? Okay, so I guess maybe we should talk again a year from now, so that you can give us the news. Thank you very much
Definitely.
for your time,
Thank
Delphine.
you.
And
Bye,
Yaro,
Norman.
I'm turning this over to you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, Delphine and Norman, for sharing your insights and for joining us. If you have any more questions for Delphine or Norman, you can connect with them in the platform. Please do check out our sponsors and exhibitors by clicking on the Exhibition Hall tab, and do stay tuned for the keynote session that's starting very shortly. Thank you.